I hope the headlights aren't blinding anyone. But I'm sorry that I couldn't get back in a few days to talk about living with the virus and taking care of my sick mother. We had a co-worker that she clocked out in the middle of the shift because her income tax had hit. And she got a notification on her cell phone and she was out of there. So that made me go from the night shift to the morning shift. And then I'm just doing flip-flop schedules. And if you work in retail or Amazon, Walmart, even at the mall, you know about even at the post office, or police officer, hospitals, you know about the flip-flop scheduling. But anyway, after I told my mom, she said that we're going to pray about this and we're going to get through it. But a lot of people don't have family members who are supportive. They want to say that, oh, you was sleeping around, you was doing this, that, and the other. Oh, I don't want you eating off my silverware. I don't want you coming to my house and stuff. So a lot of family members I don't go around, and I bring my own plasticware, or I just bring plasticware to the family function. And since my mother died 3.5 years ago, it's been kind of hard and depressing. But I've stayed on my meds. I went to my doctor's appointments. And now that I'm older now, because I just celebrated my 50th birthday, my veins are starting to blow. And that's not from the virus. That's from something hereditary in my family. My granny, her veins used to blow. My mom's veins used to blow real bad, and she get blood clots in her arm. And I would have to sit there and put warm washcloths on her arm, or she'll have to hold her arm up for like 2 hours straight to get the blood clot to go down, because if you don't, it'll go to your heart and it can make you have a massive heart attack or a massive stroke. So after I was diagnosed, Mama had to go on treatment for dialysis. And it hurt me more because the needles, the equipment they had to use, and it was just making her go down. And then she was getting combative and abusive and verbally abusive. It was like she had changed. And the doctors noticed that she had changed. And then they wanted to say that my mom was schizo. But she wasn't. It was just that she was trying to cope with the dialysis. And then instead of her worrying about herself, she just kept worrying about me. Are you okay? Are you taking your medicine? I said, yes, ma'am. I had her to come to the doctor's office, and the doctor talked to her, showed her all my blood work and everything, and said it's undetected. So then it was kind of like she was okay, and then she worried more about herself. And then COVID came out, 2020. And the very next year, everyone at the dialysis center had to take the Pfizer Moderna vaccine. And she took the Pfizer, and it started eating her inside out. I won't get graphic about it because I don't want to fall into depression again. But I miss her so. And it was a struggle in life trying to help my mom, because when I was a little girl, I saw my mom take an overdose of pills. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old. And she slumped over on the bed, and I kept saying, "Mama, Mama." And I ran and got Granny, and I said, "Granny," I said, "something wrong with Mama." And I said, "She took this." I couldn't pronounce aspirin. She took a half a bottle of aspirin. I don't know why. But later on, she told me, she said that she was suffering with migraine headaches. And now they have medication for migraine headaches. But back then, they didn't, not in the 70s or early 80s. And they had to rush her to the hospital. And back then, we didn't have push button phones. We had rotary dial phones. So then when you dial 911, you did 9. Then you got to go all the way back. Then you got to dial your 1. Then wait for it to go back. And so on. And we had to explain what was going on, but they still didn't know. So they put her on the stretcher and took her to the hospital to pump the stomach. But they didn't have help for suicide. They didn't call it suicide back then. They just call it a medical condition, because she said she couldn't get her head to stop hurting. So and didn't know Mama was suffering with her kidneys. So I had to go to work at age 14 so I wouldn't be placed in foster care. And by me had just being a teenager, I didn't want to go back to Granny's house. I was hanging out in the streets with my friends. You know, they had such school as junior high, not middle school. And then they turned the junior high to the middle school. And then 9th grade, you went on to high school. But I didn't want to be put in foster care, so I went to work. I hustled. They had a thing you could pick up glass bottles, bottle caps. And I took that in, you know, I washed cars, I raked people's yards. I did everything I could to bring money because Mama was missing days of work. And I didn't want the doctors to put her in a nursing home. And I didn't want to go to foster care, didn't want to go to Granny's. I just wanted to run away from home, but I didn't know where to go. But it was a challenge. And then getting sick, being hurt by this man that I dearly loved. And trying to help my mom as an only child. And I have 3 children. They do not have the virus. But I have met a lot of people. I have stopped them from committing suicide. A lot of them don't have the virus, but They don't have a will to live. And I told one man, I said, don't give up. I said, if you think no one loves you, look in the mirror and start telling yourself that you love you. This video is about coping with life, living life to the fullest, and getting a grip on life. Finding yourself, loving yourself. If you haven't found a calling that while you're here on earth, wait. Don't rush yourself. You know, a lot of people don't find their calling in life till they're in their 60s or 70s. And then some people go back to college and finish college or get their high school diploma. Then they might want to go to nursing school or become a doctor or just do something. After you raise your children, then you have that freedom again as you did when you were a young adult or a teenager or adolescent. And it's just so many things that you could do. But the first thing that you have to do in life is love yourself. You can beat any obstacle. God will move any mountain for you only if you believe. And that means believing in yourself, that you can do it, that you could take it to another step. My mother always told me, nothing beats a failure but a try. And because of her words and her encouragement, and I hope this video encourages someone to do better in life. I know it's a lot of people who are not sick, who are not fighting cancer, who are not fighting viruses. But it's a lot of people in life that you'll be surprised who don't have a backbone, a support system. And they think the only way to cope with life is taking their life. I thought about it too. I thought about committing suicide. But then God talked to me and he said, you have so much to live for, because you're not going to die from this. And as I looked at my 3 children sleeping, God said, you have to live for them. They need you right now. So I can't be selfish and worry about myself. I have to worry about my 3 that need me. And I have to be their backbone and their support system, just like my mother was. And once the doctor told her that I was going to be okay from the medication, she started doing better with her dialysis. I got her out the wheelchair. She started driving again. She started running her errands. She started dressing up, putting her makeup on. And then she started flirting. And not with the older dudes, the sugar daddies. Mama was flirting with men 28, 29, no older than 35. And she was having the best time of her life. And 5 months before she died, I have intuition. I have a third eye. I looked at her. We was having a little cookout, and Mama liked to drink her lemonade with coconut rum, just 2 capfuls of coconut rum in there, because she was the bougie drinker. And I said, Mama, I love you, and I'm gonna miss you when you gone. And she said, what do you see? I told her, you won't live to see the end of 2021. And she passed away July 27, 2021. But I'm glad that I was able to tell her that I loved her, and that I'm going to miss her when she is gone. So I hope this message doesn't sadden anybody. I hope it, it helps you to get through this night, tomorrow, the next week, or years to come. And I will keep doing videos. Oh, and another thing. Take a trip to the beach. I found out when you sit in the sand and let the water come up on you, on your feet, on your legs, just all the way around your waist, and you sit there for about an hour or two, the water, because Jesus walked on the water thousands of years ago. His power is still in the ocean. And because his power is still in the ocean, it is taking the impurities, the toxins out of your body so you can feel brand new. When you sit in that ocean water, God is forgiving you. Jesus Christ is forgiving you of your sins. And I pray, and I look up into the sky, and I say, I love you, God. And when I get out the water and I dry off, I feel like I have a new body, new skin. I even look younger and feel younger. So everyone who listens to this message, please take the time and love yourself first before you can love anyone else. Love yourself first. Good night.